everyone, this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how I do a fun, very simple flat brush design. Of course it's floral, that's what I do. And I'm going to be using two Amagic paintbrushes. Again, they're flat brushes, a number 2 and a number 8. A number 4 Deerfoot Stippler, and a dotting stylus. You can use anything that you want for dotting or making dots. Paint I'm using today is Teal Topaz. All of it's FolkArt paint, Fresh Foliage, Moon Yellow, Aqua, Thicket, Wicker White, and Burnt Sienna. Again, these are all FolkArt paints, a combination of MultiSurface and enamels. If you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Before leaving, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and share this on your social network with all your family and friends. Very easy. Hit the share button that you'll see underneath the video. It'll pop up, give you the options of the different social media sites that you can share it on. And there you go. Very easy. Alright, I have already gone ahead and washed this bottle, cleaned it off of rubbing alcohol, so we're ready to go. I am going to start by using the larger flat brush. I am going to be double loading this brush with Wicker White and the Aqua. Now you can do it this method, where you do puddles of paint beside each other with space for the brush, or you can dip in from one side to the other and then do your blending strokes. Very, very simple. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Up here, now the stroke I'm using again is just very simple. I'm going to be putting my brush down and going like that. Again, just very simple. These are going to be little buds, and I'm going to do 3 of them up here. I do like to work in odd numbers, just so you know. That's what my favorite way to place designs is by doing them in odd numbers. So again, this is just a very easy stroke. You are flattening out the brush and pulling it, pulling up. Flattening out the brush, pulling it, and pulling it up. If you don't get good coverage, you can very easily go back over design just to make sure that you get the coverage you're looking for. The more opaque your design is, the better the coverage will be and the durability, because that will make your paint go on a little thicker, and that definitely helps to create a good coverage and durability. You just have to be careful because you don't want your paint to be too thick, and that can cause an issue too when you're baking it. But to get it on a nice coat like what you see me doing here will be awesome. Again, I'm just pushing down and turning, pulling up as I finish the stroke, pushing down, pulling it, turning it. And I'm trying to see here how many petals. I don't really have any. It's not an actual flower per se, so it really doesn't matter how many petals you create. They don't all have to be the same either. When you're just doing designs based on brush strokes, it's easy just to create and go. Okay, down at this end, I'm just going to do some little buds again. Alright, and I'm going to come over here because I want to do one more open. Open bud, or open flower I should say, not bud. But just see how easy this is. I mean, you're just putting paint on and pulling your brush. Putting it, pulling, and just lifting up and easing up on the pressure. And pulling it to the center. Like that. Alright, so down here, again I'm trying to watch that I don't hit the design on my paper and mess it up. You can even pull your brush to the side to finish off your design like that if you wish. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wipe this off just a tad, dip my brush into the teal topaz, and the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to come back over this and just very lightly just go back over it. You can even double load your brush if you want. Just have to be careful that you don't pick up the paint. And what I mean by that is that you're not going to pull the paint up off the glass, because that can happen. And I'm just very lightly touching this because I'm trying not to pull it up. Just kind of gives it another, because this is a metallic paint, so just giving it a little bit of some shine to it. And you don't have to worry so much about the center, because I will be putting the center in with the Stippler. Let's touch my iron in here, I think. And if you don't want to do this part, you don't have to. Up to you. If you like the look of it without adding, and you don't even have to do it on every petal. Again, it just gives it a little bit of shine. I'll come up here and do these. And what else is it doing? Just adding some thickness to the paint, right? I did that one. Let's come over here and do these real quick. And as far as like practicing on glass or practicing for painting on glass, one surface that's really awesome is wax paper. If you want to create a nice surface that kind of simulates glass, wax paper is for you. Now when you're painting on glass, if you don't like to do wet on wet, which is what you're seeing me do here, you can give it some drying time if you want, or you can hit it with a hair dryer or heat gun, whatever you have available to you. Again, that's up to you. And I just don't want you to spend, like when I do a color and do certain paints, you don't have to do yours. Do whatever paint you have. If you're just learning how to paint and you have purchase certain ones. You don't have to do identical to what I'm doing. Use what you have. I just don't want people to spend a lot of money. You know, unless you want to, or you have it to spend. Not everybody does, so that's why I say that. I'm just taking my time. And you could see, you know, if you are struggling and looking for something that's fun to do, relaxing also, I think painting is great for that. Painting or drawing. I like to do both. And I'm talking about easy designs, not anything that's difficult, because I'm not that great of a drawer. Alright, so here we go. Now this may be a time where you want to give it some dry time. I am using my little stippler, and I'm going to create the centers. Right now I'm just using the burnt sienna, just the single color, and tapping it in. Since I am doing wet on wet, I just have to be careful because I can pull up the wet paint from below and it mix into the center. If you don't mind that, then it's fine. And by pouncing in a center like what I'm doing here, it doesn't really matter how the center strokes come together because I'm going to be tapping over them anyways. As you can see. And then I'm going to come up here. I want to tap little ones into these. Just very simple. Since they are partially open, I do want to have a center showing. This one was a little bit more difficult because it had some extra paint. Now I got all those. Okay, so then I'm going to take the heel of the brush like that and put the moon yellow in it. Whenever I'm loading this, I always put the paint in and then I tap some of it off. Try not to get too thick. And I just want to put a little bit of just some interest into the center. That one's a little thick. And that's okay. Definitely okay. And I'm going to put this one down like that. Then what you can do if you want is put some more of the burnt sienna in and just come back over it and just kind of blend it in a little bit, especially if you think you got too much on it. If you like the way it is, then you don't have to worry about coming back over it again. Alright, so I'm going to leave them like that because I just wanted a touch. What I'm going to do next, take my little dotting stylus, put it into my paint, and I'm going to come over here and then just start putting in some little yellow dots. Now I'm just sticking with the moon yellow. If you want to do a contrasting color, maybe even do white here. So a lot of times I do black. That's up to you. You know, use whatever color you want. It doesn't have to be one of these colors. But again, I'm just tapping in here. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, if you added the yellow, that would probably make it stand out a little bit more. And even on these, the ones that are not really open that much, I'm still going to put some dots in here. And I think I got them. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is go into my green, and I have basically the same loading style. Have my fresh foliage and my thicket right next to each other. And the goal when you're trying to get the brush loaded is to get it at least 3/4 of the way up the bristles. Then I'm going to touch one side into the moon yellow, and then I'm going to come over here and then just starting to easily pull these just to the side, kind of pull it to the side like that. Now if you want to just make it look like you're just painting leaves and such around the flowers, or if you want to have it to where you actually have a stem, you can do it either way. And if you look at this, I'm kind of turning it, and I am going to do like a stem on these. And I'm going to come and do the same thing over here. Just want to get a little bit thicker. And the problem could be too is, you know, I'm painting on top of the other paint, and with the type of movement I'm doing with my brush, it can cause it to raise the paint. So I'm just going to be very careful with it, because I don't want to raise the paint. On these I can just make a little part of it up into the bud itself. And you can cover these up more if you want them to be more enclosed. You can do that as well. And I'm going to bring this down like it's a stem. I'm just going to kind of wiggle it a little bit and keep going. While I'm doing this, if you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. And I tried to put the product links that I'm using whenever I get a chance down below. Hopefully the links still work, because sometimes I've maybe had the product for a while, so it may not always be a working link, but I'm hoping it is. But you know how things on the internet change. And could you see yourself just doing this and just relaxing? I'm going to make this a little thicker. Just relaxing and having a good time. Maybe even have some friends over. Have them bring a bottle. Or you could do wine glasses even. And when I show you this stuff, it doesn't all have to be glass either. Any of these designs can be painted on really any surface. I just like to paint on glass. That's all. It's one of my favorite surfaces to paint on. I'm just creating here. I'm going to come back, add the little stick through the center like that. Come up here, do the same. Alright, so then I'm just going to keep the leaves that I'm doing on this just very simple. Very simple. I just don't, there's just really no need to be, you know, doing them too detailed. It's a simple design. that. I'm just going to keep them little. I'll do just a few here and there. And I'm not going to do any kind of sprays or anything like that as far as fillers. As far as fillers go, I keep it simple. We're almost finished. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Sticking till the end is awesome. And so you just can step back and take a look and see where you want to add your leaves. Again, that's, you know, up to you, your placement. If you want to do a lot of leaves, a few leaves. I love leaves, so I do a lot. Definitely do a lot. You do not have to do what I do, that's for sure. Alright, I think we're done. And you can do more. I'm just going to leave it at that for today. Alright, I hope you like this. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. And before you leave, share this on your social network with all your family and friends. I would definitely appreciate it. And until the next time, please stay safe and healthy. And you have a good one.